Hi, and welcome to the first course of the UX Basics series. Today, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what we are going to cover in this course. So, by the title, it's an intro to UX, user experience, and within this course, I'm going to talk about all of these topics. So, we are going to start with the definition of user experience. Then we'll be talking about what is the difference between UX and UI. That's sort of like a very big discussion in the industry, and it's sort of one of the most popularly asked questions in the interviews. So we're going to talk about that in depth. After that, we'll be talking about what does a UX designer actually do, what are the responsibilities associated with this job title, and while talking about it, we'll talk about what user experience actually is in quite a bit of detail. After that, we'll be talking about the user centricity of UX, how you can structure your work in UX so that it is user centered. After that, we'll be talking about some of the principles of UX that you have to uphold while working in this industry. Then we're talking about some immutable rules of design as coined by Jacob Nielsen in a recent conference. So rules which have existed in this industry of design for decades. So we'll be talking about those rules. After that, we have a usability one-on-one where we'll be talking about how UX user experience is different in theory and in practice to usability. So we'll be talking about that distinction. After that, we'll be talking about design thinking 101, what this ideology actually is, what are some of the steps involved in this ideology, and how it can actually help how you work as a designer. After that, we'll be talking about Jacob's law of internet UX. So there's a very popular Jacob's law out there. In a recent conference, Jacob Nielsen actually further elaborated on that law, and he talked about one of the shortcomings which people associated with that law, and he's resolved that. We'll be talking about that. It's a very interesting video. After that, we'll be talking about the concept of mental models, which is integral to user experience and how your users use products, their psychology. So mental models is like an intersection of psychology and user experience and digital design. So it's a very interesting space in a video. Lastly, we'll be talking about interaction cost. Again, a very interesting concept which you as a designer need to be mindful of when you're working on your products and your user interfaces. So that's the lineup. Looks pretty interesting. So I'll see you in the first video, which is the definition of user experience. See you there.